Welcome back to Who'd Be an Actor. My name is Mahari Masulu and I am an actor. We're having a bit of a different session this week because I have a job. Yay! Which means that I am in rehearsals at the moment, and that involves all of my energy. So I am speaking to you right now after a long day of rehearsals from my bed in my pajamas. So bear with me if I sound a little bit sleepy every now and then. Also forgive the background noises, literally sleep sounds. Today I thought that we would continue with our Shakespeare exploration because I'm finding it very beneficial for character exploration, for examining text, for learning how to enjoy words, and discovering more about ourselves in the character, because that makes it easier to embody the character. Some actors believe that you have to like every character you play. Some actors believe that it's acting, let it go. Either way, it's very useful to know and examine text in order to gain a sort of understanding and be more confident, which is essential when portraying a character. Confidence. 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 Not arrogance. Confidence. And I thought we would have a look at the famous speech from Hamlet. Now, you may not know this speech, or you may not even know it's from Shakespeare, but you know this line: to be or not to be? That is the question. I'm going to read it. I've already been dreaming about doing this session, so I've already sort of started examining it, so there's already some information in how I say it that shows a connection to it. A little bit of information. Here we go. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of deprived love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? It's longer than that. He goes on for another, I think, 12 lines, but I think if we stop there, because there's a lot of information, and then we start a textual exercise. What is this person going through? Why are they saying what they're saying? What are the circumstances in which they are saying this? Who are they speaking to? How do they feel about the person that they are speaking to? How does the person they're speaking to feel about them? When are they saying this? Why are they saying this? These are all questions that you have to answer in order for you to understand what it is you are saying and how you say it. And here's the thing, how you say it, in my experience, can't be stylized. It can't. You can't put on a performance. You have to understand what you're saying. And when you say it, people will believe you because you believe you. So you have to answer those questions. And those questions will help you speak it from a place of truth, which then is a style. So, who is this person? It's Hamlet. He is the Prince of Denmark in Shakespeare's stories, plays that he's written. He's the Prince of Denmark, and this speech occurs after his father's ghost visits him and tells him that he was murdered. By who is important because it informs Hamlet's state of mind. Hamlet has been living abroad, studying, and, well, I think studying is inferred, but he's gone abroad and he's been brought back to Denmark after his father's death because he's the crown prince. However, when he arrives in Denmark, what he arrives to is a wedding. The wedding of his father's brother to his mother. So Hamlet's uncle marries Hamlet's mother. And somewhere along the way, Hamlet's father's ghost comes to him and says, "Son, those two people conspired together to murder me so that he could have the crown and their love could be complete." Hamlet says this speech in a sort of soliloquy. Now, a soliloquy is a conversation one has with oneself on stage. That's the best way I can describe it. And when he's speaking, he's walking through things in his mind. He's got all these big ideas that he's trying to unravel slowly because he's very confused. And how do we know he's confused? When you look at this speech, which I advise you pause this video, go type on Google and bring it up. It's Hamlet's speech, to be or not to be. When you look at it, when you examine the punctuation, you will notice he speaks in long sentences. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences in the speech, that in the section of the speech that we're using as an extract. That's just 4 sentences. That's a long time to speak a thought, and a thought is the beginning of a sentence to a full stop, an exclamation mark, or a question mark. That's a sentence. There's 4 of them, and in that sentence there's commas and colons and semicolons. Those are called sentence breaks. So and these denote a change of thought or an addition to a thought. So he's rambling. He's picking at his thoughts. So when you're examining the text, you're looking for things like that. You're looking for how many times there's a colon, which is a change of thought. It's the first thing that happens. To be or not to be, that is the question. But that's not a statement. We know it's not a statement because there's a colon, which means he's going to change his mind, because a semicolon means that he's going to add something. But here he's going to go completely different direction, and he does, because he says, whether 'tis nobly in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, comma, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. So in actuality it's one long sentence, but in that sentence he goes in 2 different, maybe 3 different directions at the same time. And just that sentence alone gives you a wealth of information about your character's state of mind. And a final thing, because I don't want this video to be too long, because hopefully you have a lot of information. There are so many old words, or words that are not in use anymore in this speech. So when you get your character, go through and examine, underline the words that you don't understand, and then have a thesaurus and the thesaurus is in your phone as well, or if you like it, you can get the actual books, you can feel learned. Whatever it is you do, Google them, search them out, find out the meanings. And once it's giving you the definition, more often than not, it'll give you the pronunciation, which helps you with how it's spoken and the cadence of your character's speech. And it gives you different examples of the word. For instance, here in this speech, he says, if we go down to the last sentence, he says, "For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely?" I went to search what contumely means, and I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, so let's find out.
Contumely.
Contumely. Contumely. Contumely. So when I come back to say it in this speech, I can say, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely. Of course, then I double check with someone, like if I'm lucky enough, if you're in school and you're doing this, you can check with your voice teacher. They can help you work out if that is actually how it's said. But here it says contumely, which I had no idea what it was, is insolent or insulting language or treatment. And the synonyms for this are abuse, insult, slurs, derision. So when I come back to say it, I will say, I can say, because now I know. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of deprived love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient men of merit, let's start again. Passion got in the way. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of deprived love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Now there are 2 words there that I want to check. Quietus. Quietus means death. Did you know that? I didn't know that. The synonyms are demise, passing, expiration, doom. So when I go here now and I say, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Now what is a bodkin? I checked this earlier, but I want to find it with you here. A bodkin is a thick, blunt needle with a large eye, or a pointed tool used for removing pieces of metal for correction, or a dagger. So now I know a little bit more about what he's saying. So then when I say to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of deprived life, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? "10 minutes, and it sounds different from how it did in the beginning. Take the time to examine your text. Get to know yourself. And also, as an aside, it's really great how much of what he said then is so relevant today, because patient merit of the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes. How many prime ministers have we been through? And how many of them did we vote for? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was a blessing. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any other exercises, please do get in touch below in the comments. Meantime, may God bless you, may He keep you, may He make His face to shine on you and be gracious towards you. May He turn His countenance towards you